Welcome to the Hoop Hysteria channel. The NBA Eastern Conference Finals Game 5 tipped off on May 30th. Heading into the game, the Indiana Pacers held a commanding 3-1 series lead. Bleacher Report predicted an 85.7% chance for the Pacers to win the East, but only a 3.6% chance for them to win the NBA championship. While most American media outlets consider the Thunder to be a lock for the title, the Pacers' playoff performance has been nothing short of a dark horse counterattack. Their deep bench and Tyrese Halliburton's clutch gene have been undeniable. He sank a game-winning layup against the Bucks in the first round, hit a game-winning three-pointer against the Cavaliers in the second, and forced overtime with a buzzer-beating two-pointer in Eastern Conference Finals Game 1. Halliburton is simply clutch. In the last game, he delivered an incredible 32 points, 12 rebounds, 15 assists, 4 steals, and 0 turnovers, making him the first player in NBA history to achieve such a stat line in the playoffs. The Pacers have truly been unstoppable, with many in the US media even calling Halliburton the best player in the playoffs, bar none. The New York Knicks, on the other hand, are in an awkward spot. After eliminating the Pistons and Celtics in the first 2 rounds and enduring the grueling 82-game regular season, their starters are clearly gassed. Head coach Tom Thibodeau's decision to expand the rotation starting from Game 2 was the right call. However, facing a tactical master like Rick Carlisle, it felt a bit like Dongshi imitating Shishi, trying to copy without understanding the essence. Thibodeau hesitated to rest Jalen Brunson when he was tired, and he didn't give Mitchell Robinson enough minutes when the team needed rim protection. With more players in the rotation, Thibodeau clearly struggled to manage them effectively. Furthermore, Brunson's tendency to overdribble and his defensive vulnerabilities, often being targeted, contributed to the Knicks' struggles. The game began with Brunson immediately scoring 6 points with a floater and a pull-up jumper. Miles Turner responded with a high-arching 3. Robinson threw down a dunk, and OG Anunoby continued to draw fouls. Brunson hit a timely 3 to stop the bleeding. In the latter half of the quarter, Brunson continued his aggressive play. Combined with Brunson's three-point barrage, the Knicks quickly opened up a 10-point lead. Obi Toppin and TJ McConnell led a small run for the Pacers, but the first quarter ended with the Knicks leading 27-23. The second quarter saw Brunson hit a floater and a three-point play. Toppin and McConnell, in turn, put Brunson through the paces. Miles McBride's 3 and Josh Hart's transition layup responded. In the middle of the quarter, Brunson inside-out scoring, and Anunoby had consecutive putbacks. The Pacers relied on bench players like Benedict Mathurin and Andrew Nembhard to keep the deficit around 10 points with a three-point barrage. At halftime, the Knicks led the Pacers 56-45. Halliburton had only 4 points and 3 assists in the first half, seemingly lacking any offensive intent. Brunson, leading the bench unit, played exceptionally well. He needed ball touches, but he didn't get them with the starting lineup. In the second half, Brunson made consecutive layups, then hit a tough pull-up 3. After Halliburton made a layup to stop the bleeding, Robinson's putback and Brunson's contested layup pushed the Knicks' lead to 20 points. Mathurin kept the Pacers in it with consecutive free throws. Toppin targeted Brunson in isolation. Surprisingly, the Knicks even expanded to a 10-man rotation. Towards the end of the quarter, Brunson and Bridges combined for inside-out scoring, and the Knicks' lead reached a maximum of 22 points. Shepard and Mathurin led a small comeback for the Pacers. After 3 quarters, the Knicks led 90-73. In the fourth quarter, the Pacers' bench continued their surge, cutting the lead to just 12 points. In a crucial moment, Hart made consecutive layups, and Bridges hit a jumper to stabilize the situation. In the final 3 minutes, the Pacers were unable to close the gap. Ultimately, the Knicks defeated the Pacers 111-94, bringing the series score to 2-3. The Pacers missed their chance to clinch the Eastern Conference Championship early. While the world was discussing whether the Pacers could overcome the Thunder, the Knicks stepped up and showed everyone that, despite losing Game 4, they are still very much in this series. The Eastern Conference Finals are far from over. Compared to previous games, the Knicks' start today was incredibly resolute. It was simple: give the ball to Brunson and let him go to work. It didn't matter if it was Nesmith or Nembhard in front of him, or how much energy he had left in the tank. If they didn't play all out now, they'd have to wait until next season. Brunson made 3 consecutive baskets to start the game, and his 4th contribution was an assist to Robinson. Thibodeau maintained his dual center starting lineup from previous games. Today, he effectively minimized Towns' role in the starting lineup, using him purely as a floor spacer on the perimeter to create opportunities for Brunson and Robinson on pick-and-rolls. This led to Brunson's 14 points and 2 assists in the first quarter alone. However, Thibodeau didn't completely diminish Towns' role. The start of the second quarter, during the transition period, was Towns' time to shine. Towns played over 7 minutes in the second quarter with the bench unit, giving the starters ample rest while also extending the lead. Towns played incredibly aggressively during this stretch. Regardless of whether it was the easier matchup against Turner or the tougher one against Siakam, Towns consistently attacked the paint, sought contact, and finished plays, often converting uplifting and one opportunities. The Knicks' offensive rhythm was sustained by Brunson and Towns. In the second quarter alone, Brunson had 12 points and 7 rebounds, with all his baskets coming from inside the paint. He didn't even attempt a single three-pointer, simply focusing on attacking the basket and crashing the boards with immense toughness. But the best performance for the Knicks today still came from Brunson. His 14 points in the first quarter set the tone, and his 16 points in the third quarter sealed the victory. When the 20-point lead in the third quarter was suddenly cut to 10, it was Brunson's sheer strength that stabilized the situation. The Knicks didn't panic. Brunson finished with 32 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists on a highly efficient 12 of 18 shooting, including 4 of 7 from 3. His shooting touch returned at the most crucial moment. Of course, against an offensive powerhouse like the Pacers, simply outscoring them isn't enough. The key lies in defense. The Knicks once again committed 15 turnovers today, and the Pacers capitalized on many fast breaks. However, the final fast break points were 16-15, with the Knicks losing by only 1, because the Pacers were also forced into a staggering 20 turnovers by the Knicks. In this must-win game, the Knicks delivered their best defensive performance. Haliburton was essentially double-teamed as soon as he crossed half-court. The Knicks no longer sagged off in defense, refusing to give the Pacers easy passing lanes for open shots. They increased physical contact, trying to exhaust the Pacers' energy as much as possible. At least against Haliburton, the Knicks' defense was effective. After his historic performance in the last game, Haliburton had virtually no offensive firepower today, shooting just 2 of 7 from the field for 8 points and 6 assists. Haliburton has had many games with single-digit shot attempts, including 3 in these playoffs. When his offense isn't going, his playmaking struggles. Looking at the turnover battle in this game, my first thought is that if this level of defense still leads to so many turnovers, the finals against the Thunder could be even more brutal. The Thunder's ability to create turnovers is no joke. While Brunson played well and Towns played tough, Thibodeau's adjustments today also deserve praise. From the start of the series, when Thibodeau brought Shamet and Wright into the rotation, he's been trying to match the Pacers' rotation depth and alleviate the burden on his starters. Today, Thibodeau extended the rotation further, bringing in Precious Achiuwa, making it a 10-man rotation for the Knicks. Honestly, it's hard to associate a 10-man rotation with Thibodeau, but the playoffs are a process of growth, and Thibodeau is adapting because if he didn't, they might really be on vacation. Along with extending the rotation, separating Towns and Brunson's minutes was also a realization for Thibodeau. Towns' 20 points in the fourth quarter of Game 3 weren't a fluke. He needs the ball, and he needs opportunities to create. Towns' offensive talent rewards that trust. That's why we saw Towns' shot attempts in the Eastern Conference Finals exceed Brunson's for the first time. Although 5 Knicks players played over 30 minutes, Towns played the most at only 36 minutes. More reasonable playing time and a more balanced distribution of shot attempts lead to more reasonable basketball. It's hard to say today that the Knicks have found a way to stop the Pacers. A series is fluid, and each game presents a different scenario. But the Knicks winning their first home game in this series at least keeps them in this season. Of course, this game created the illusion that the Pacers perhaps didn't want to win, preferring to clinch the Eastern Conference Championship at home in front of tens of thousands of cheering fans. This can be glimpsed from Halliburton's smiling departure after the game. It must be said, this was a rather ugly Eastern Conference Finals game. It reminded me of Game 5 between the Knicks and Celtics, when the Knicks also held a 3-1 lead but suffered a 25-point blowout loss at the Celtics' home court. The Pacers today were like those Knicks, seemingly lacking any desire to compete on the road. The bench certainly tried their best, but Halliburton and Siakam were clearly out of sync. Although they got more free throws, if they truly want to win the Eastern Conference Championship at home, they might have revealed 5 key facts. Fact 1. Halliburton's underdog treatment. Clippers beat reporter Murray lamented that while Halliburton is indeed a playoff superstar, he also enjoys underdog treatment. He shot 1 of 5 in the first 3 quarters today, showing no offensive desire, yet he won't receive external criticism or blame. He's an All-NBA selection. What if it was someone else? It's true. Halliburton is similar to Damian Lillard or Paul George in their past. If they play poorly, no one cares. If they play well, they're easily hyped. But Halliburton has had many subpar performances in these playoffs, besides his 2 game winners and 1 game tying shot, such as 4 points on 2 of 8 shooting in Game 3 against the Cavs, 11 points on 3 of 8 in Game 4, and 8 points on 2 of 7 in this game. Fact 2. Thibodeau tastes the sweetness of rotation. Seeing Thibodeau employ a 10-man rotation truly signals that the NBA has changed. In the regular season, the Knicks were a standard 7-man rotation, but in the playoffs, their starting 5 kept losing, forcing Thibodeau's hand. He moved Brunson into the starting lineup and Hart to the bench, increasing minutes for Shamet, McBride, and others. In these recent games, the bench has played well, and the starters have started winning. The most crucial issue remains conditioning. They can't constantly overexert Anunoby, Bridges, and others. However, a leopard cannot change its spots. Even with an 18-point lead in the final stages, Thibodeau still didn't sub in the bench. He's still Thibodeau. Fact 3. The Pacers clearly didn't want to win. The ugliness of this game lies here. The Pacers, starting 5 combined for 13 of 39 shooting, scoring only 37 points in total. That's simply not a recipe for winning. Bench players like Mathurin, Shepard, and Toppin shot well, but the starters lacked offensive intent. Halliburton showed no desire to attack the basket, and Nesmith and Nembhard constantly floated on the perimeter. This was completely different from their previous performances. Perhaps the Pacers truly wanted to return home and lift the Eastern Conference Championship trophy in front of tens of thousands of fans. But if the Knicks build confidence, the Pacers might not be able to clinch the title at home. There's also another underlying concern. If Halliburton is double-teamed in the next game, the Pacers might be in deep trouble. Fact 4. Towns' impact underrated. For 3 consecutive games, when the Knicks subbed out Brunson and Bridges, leaving Towns and Anunoby to lead the bench, the Knicks consistently extended their lead. Towns' offensive dominance with the ball in his hands is undeniable. Honestly, the Pacers' Siakam can't guard him, and once Turner is off the floor, no one can contain Towns. Towns originally needed more ball touches, but the Villanova trio Brunson, Bridges, and Hart clearly preferred to interact among themselves, giving Towns insufficient support. Towns certainly felt stifled. He has the ability to average around 30 points. Fact 5. The Thunder's championship is a foregone conclusion. The Eastern Conference Finals have been exciting, but both teams have clear weaknesses. The Knicks have expanded their rotation, but internal team dynamics and the conditioning issues of their starters cannot be changed quickly. For the Pacers, Halliburton's inconsistency is too great. While the Pacers have multiple scoring options, they consistently fall behind by double digits, which has become a norm. In contrast, the Thunder have no obvious weaknesses. They have home court advantage, with an 8-1 record at home in these playoffs and an average winning margin of 27.9 points. They swept both the Knicks and Pacers 2-0 in the regular season. The championship suspense is virtually gone. Regardless of how many games the Eastern Conference Finals go, the NBA Finals will begin promptly on the morning of June 6th. The well-rested Thunder will once again have more rest time than their opponent. So, let the bullets fly for a little longer.